We're back.
Why is the alarm going off again?
The alarm's going off. We're back. Hopefully we're here to stay tonight. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. We're going to have some beers. We're going to talk about deer hunting.
Do an intro of what it is.
People are finally planting. Oh, this is Beers and Bucks.
Episode 3. Episode 2 had a little bit of a debacle. It was a little bit dicey, a little bit sketchy, but we powered through.
We're back to prove ourselves.
And I think episode 3 is going to be a doozy. Not only do we have a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight, but we've got a product release, and man, I'm pumped about it.
This is going to be an exciting one. If you've known us for the last 3 years, we're kind of good for a mid-year product release. I don't think there was ever a release that was as timely as this one.
Yeah, especially just with what's going on right now. But I think I'd like to see some comments dropped of just like maybe some guesses.
Ooh.
You know, if somebody guesses it right, like if they nail it, they maybe get one of that.
I think we'll probably give a few away tonight too.
Yeah, I think we should.
It only feels right.
Yeah.
But it's good to be back. Your dad's been busy planting.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know, Wisconsin had the worst spring of all time.
Very cold.
It was cold, wet, brutal. So things that normally happen in April and May are now happening in June, which is, for the most part, fine.
Finally, some consistent mid-70s over the next week. Perfect timing for the wedding, which is great. Hopefully no rain.
Timmy's got a big wedding coming up. Another reason why we're launching a product now. And I mean, we only had our last Beers and Bucks 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For us, this is a pretty quick turnaround.
It is.
But Timmy's getting married. He's getting hitched.
Get you off the market. You know, I was a wild stallion.
But now what are you?
Show pony.
There we go.
Mel doesn't like it when I say that, but whipped.
She doesn't count until next Saturday.
Fair.
Right now, your opinion is all that matters.
That's a good point.
Yeah, until after that, you no longer have one.
But it is pretty nice, though, having some just consistent nice weather. I mean, I turned my heat on last week in Wisconsin, so everything's a little bit delayed. People's frost seeding was a little bit delayed. We've seen a big boom really over the last week and a half, and our frost-seeded clover that we put in, it's just taken off, and it looked pretty good last weekend, and then we got a picture, what was it, yesterday? Dad's down there, and it just blew up, and it's almost ready for a mow. I would say probably by next weekend we could probably mow it.
It's the only thing growing faster than antlers right now.
Yeah.
The warm weather, the warm soil. You can finally think about putting your incognito in.
Yep.
I've had some people reach out asking, why is my incognito not growing so fast? Because the soil temps were below 70. It's been just brutal. And now we finally got some warmer soil temps, so that can get going. I'll talk about that a little bit, because that's one of those tools that I don't think we've tapped its potential even.
Yeah.
Just to the degree of how you can use it and improve your property. So that's a product we'll talk about tonight. We're going to talk about, after we launch our new product here in a little bit, we're going to let a few people get on and get comfortable, get your beer ready. We're going to talk about Timmy's destination kill plot.
Yep.
Maybe reach out to some folks to see if you can help us design that.
Yeah, I mean, the first year when we first bought it, we just threw some stuff down in there. The second year was the time where we really did our first initial design. Dad killed a buck. Then the next year we did a kind of a new design because we like to rotate crops down there, and killed another buck. So hopefully we can go 3 for 3 here. And actually Colin shot one that first year too out of that same stand. Yep. So that
you and I are the ones that haven't.
I know.
Yeah.
I've had some nice encounters, but not the lucky ones. But
there's
three deer and two hunting seasons out of that spot. So
what do they say? Prior preparation prevents poor performance. The 5 P's.
Prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Ooh, that's good too.
Yeah, that one's better, I think.
All the P's.
Domain seed spreader.
Seed
That's
spreader,
a good idea,
beans.
Josh.
We're getting close.
Should we thank one of our unofficial sponsors?
Oh, yeah. We should.
Again, it's Hop and Barrel, downtown Hudson, Wisconsin. Maybe we should tag them in this.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by Hop and Barrel.
Mike likes a little fruit.
It's the kind of sponsorship where you pay them.
Yeah.
It's the perfect kind, right?
Yeah.
It's the only kind we've been able to get.
Good and good for you.
We got Greg down in St. Louis watching the show. He sent me some pictures of a pretty giant buck smoking one of his food plots earlier today. So those are fun. It's this is the time of year where we're finally getting some serious antler growth. So I want to provide just a little bit of advice, because I've done it incorrectly too. Don't put your mineral out in September just to get the full antler growth. Put it out now to help enhance it, right? I think we always fall victim of, like, I don't know, we don't put our cameras out, don't put our mineral out until bucks are fully formed. When at that point it's a nice attractant, but it sure would be nice to help enhance some of those mineral or some of those antlers too. So
I'm planning on rigging up and getting a couple of our cameras out. I don't know if I'll start running the Tacticams yet, but definitely getting some of our SD card cameras out over some kind of hot spots and see if the Big 8 made it. We found one of his sheds, and he's going to be a truly world-class deer for our area this year, and hopefully us or one of our good neighbors.
The Domain crew might kill a couple of world-class deer this year.
Yeah.
I don't like to get ahead of myself. I like to teach patience and things like that when you got big giant deer on camera, but there is that potential. We also forgot to mention that we've got some new mics.
Yeah, look at these bad boys.
We came back from episode 2 ready to battle.
It's called making the investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I put a lot of effort into getting these things on.
A lot of spreader. You didn't do anything.
I know.
We got a bunch of spreader guesses, some bean guesses. I had a bunch of texts all day, people asking me what we're going to launch, what new seed mix we're going to launch, because they got 2 extra acres. So nobody's completely nailed it yet. There's been some close guesses though, so I guess you get credit for that. I'm
pretty stoked for some of these 2023 products, some of these test plots we're rocking this year.
There's a bunch of, we're always testing. Always a lot going on.
Got to get some in the ground on our farm yet, but some of them are they're pretty cool. It's always like what's one additional problem you can solve, or what's one additional benefit you can add. And we don't want to just add another mix. It creates that much more work. So a lot of thought goes into it before we launch a new mix, because it just creates that much more workload on our end, another SKU you got to keep inventory of. So we put a lot of thought into that, of like, is it going to solve a problem, or is it going to provide an additional benefit that one of the other mixes don't do? And I think we've got some winners. Absolutely. And the product that we'll talk about tonight too is one where it's been tested by us for a couple of years, but also we were able to, again, utilize a larger team of experts to help us, fully get it to the finish line and vet it out for years and years on multiple different applications and all the things. So it's again, one of those products where once it releases, like, it's the cat's pajamas. For sure. That's kind of how we roll. So, and the packaging's not half bad either. No, pretty solid. What do you think? I think it's probably time. Should we do it? We've got a few guesses. Has anyone got it right yet? Negative. Hopefully we don't break the cameras this time, because last time we broke the cameras when we brought out my handy dandy artwork. Tonight, hopefully that's not the case. So should we do it? Should I bring it in? Should we both bring it in? Well, Riley might get mad. Oh yeah, we'll keep it centered. All right, here it is. We'll let you take it all in for a minute. This is the newest family member, Liquid Courage. Everybody could use a little Liquid Courage, You're at the bar. You're just a single guy at the bar. Tim was the scrawny single guy at the bar. Yeah, he needed a lot of Liquid Courage to, get up and get ready. So this is our newest product. It's our liquid foliar fertilizer, Liquid Courage. This covers 2 acres. This was something that we've been working on for a couple of years now. The company that we work closely with to bring it to market has been applying something similar to this for eons. They've been around for over 100 years, family-owned business in the U.S. That we've partnered with on this product. So we've been able to utilize the experts once again. This can be used on anything, which is pretty cool. The tests, I'll share a couple of them with you, but the tests are pretty awesome with just what it's done to help improve on the egg side, food plot side, apple trees, like all sorts of applications, which is pretty cool. But it's one of those things where, no, it's not a stump feeder. This is fertilizer. This is not
deer food.
And it's not blue Powerade.
Not blue Powerade. Do not drink it. But it's one of those things where we've been working on it. Timmy and I said, you know what? With the cost of fertilizer prices literally going through the roof, what can we do to help solve a problem and be budget friendly? So we, kind of took a step back from what we were doing and solely focused on one product to kind of get it to the finish line. So it's one of those SKUs where it's going to save you in the pocketbook and it's going to maximize forage, growth, production, all the things. So just to break it down and put it into perspective, when Tim plants his half-acre big sexy plot this fall, go in and put in your 50 pounds of 19, get it started. Once those plants get started, come back in with Liquid Courage. This will cover it 4 times, 4 applications. You spray or you mix with water up minimum of 5 gallons up to 20 gallons. And this will cover 2 acres, which means you could cover a half acre 4 times. Quick math.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
math.
About as good as I got.
You were not ever good at math.
Right? So I don't even know what fertilizer costs right now, but it's a lot. For $50 at your retailer, you can cover it 4 times. So it's one of those products where if we can help you save some money, grow bigger plants, we're all for it. So those of you just joining, yes, Liquid Courage is a foliar fertilizer. Diluted with water, spray it on anything. Spray it on your corn, spray it on your beans, spray it on your comeback kid, your hot chick, your brassicas. If you have Roundup Ready plants, mix it with herbicides. It pretty much has all those applications. You got apple trees, want more apples, spray Liquid Courage. There's actually a bunch of testing that was done on apple trees specifically. It was a pretty crazy test about how many more pounds of apples per tree the test trees created with this type of product.
So the big thing is just making sure like it's not meant for at time of planting. It needs to attach to the leaves.
Thank you.
So make sure that your plants have come up, they've germed, not too early. Make sure that there's a lot of the plant that they can touch, because that's how it's going to interact with your plants.
Correct.
So it is not a
absolutely
seed and then drive over and spray it. It is very much a, like, as it starts to get the roots established, it starts to shoot up. That's another time where typically you need to go in and hit it with more fertilizer. Makes it a lot easier to just go in and spray it, give them that nice boost. So
Yep, exactly. And it's one of those things where if you can wait for it to get 5-6 inches tall, as much stem and leaf development as possible to absorb that Liquid Courage is going to help. Right now, it's going to, at our retailers, it'll be $49.99. On our website, it'll be $59.99. So if you have a dealer carrying it, that's the place to go. We'll kind of release those as they go, but a lot of the dealers are going to be jumping on board here, and some will have it here in the next few days. The official kind of goal for the dealers to kind of start shipping those orders is mid-June, around June 15th. It'll be live on our website tonight. Jake was working feverishly.
Actually, right now it's live on the website.
It's actually live right now on our website.
How about whoever is the first person to order a thing of Liquid Courage gets a free hat?
Done. How about we give away two jugs too?
Yeah.
How does one win a jug of Liquid Courage? What can they do?
Where they're from? Comment what state they're from.
They got a comment with a
roll call.
They got a comment. I'm always curious about this. It's been bothering me since Beers and Bucks #1.
Oh boy.
It doesn't have to be a beer to enjoy with Beers and Bucks.
Ooh.
Comment with a picture of what you're drinking while you're enjoying Beers and Bucks, and the first 2 people that comment get a free jug. That's pretty solid.
A picture. Hopefully they can actually get their pictures on here. We've had trouble with that in the past.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they just comment.
Oh boy, now we're already going back on it. I think we keep it simple. Comment with your beverage of choice during Beers and Bucks. # Liquid Courage. Because who doesn't need Liquid Courage during Beers and Bucks? I mean, how ironic is that?
I wouldn't get through it.
This is our Liquid Courage.
Yeah.
That's your plant's Liquid Courage. All right, so...
And to answer someone's... I forget who it was up above.
Here we go.
Mike...
Coors, Kool-Aid, Bush Light, Mountain Dew.
Mike was the one that actually came up with the name Liquid Courage. I was thinking like juice, like steroids, like, you know, I was kind of going down that path. And we were texting like late one night, just going back and forth.
Like we do.
Like,
that's how we do. We get a little
juiced.
little
and
benders.
I forget. There were some really good ones. Some of them might resurface.
Metamucil.
And all of a sudden it was like Liquid Courage, and I was like, oh. But we always sleep on it for one day before we make the call, and I don't even think I slept. I was like, that's so perfect.
I just thought about, we always used to put a liquid jacket on back in college when it was cold out in Wisconsin. You put your liquid jacket on, and then you go to the bars. And then when you get to the bars, a little bit of Liquid Courage, and you could maybe talk to a girl. So it just felt right.
Yeah.
And here we are. And I feel like it's on brand.
Yeah, it does a good job. So let us know if you have questions. It's going to be rolling out to quite a few dealers here by middle of June. If it's middle of June and the dealer of choice where you buy a domain doesn't have it, bring it up to them. We'd love to get it into your market. And I think it's going to be a great product. Again, it solves a problem. Inflation is definitely real this year. So the fact that you can cover 4 acres.
2 acres.
Sorry, 2 acres with
you can
one
cover
jug.
4 if you buy 2.
Yeah, but even covering 2 acres with one jug, it's pretty phenomenal. That's good math again.
I can keep going.
It's pretty sweet.
So David, it covers 2 acres. You have to dilute it with water. And to Tim's point earlier, it must be sprayed on the physical plants you want to grow, not on the ground.
Yep.
It is a foliar fertilizer, so it works through the leaves and the stem. And don't think you can only plant it on your 25 acres of domain food plots. You can also, did I say plant it on? I meant spray it on.
Spray it on, yeah.
You can also spray it on your corn, your beans, your apple trees. It works on everything. Basically the idea of it is it helps those plants increase the nutrients they can absorb, then obviously grow, but better yields, better growth, better taproot production, better root development. The idea is to increase plant growth and quality. So
I think
all those things that we're trying to accomplish.
I think it's a step missed a lot of times too, is you plant the plot, you fertilize at time of planting, and then I feel like I've skipped it before where those plants are germinated, they're starting to come up, you're like, it's looking good, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna go down and fertilize it again.
Yep.
And it's amazing when we have took that step and the difference that it makes with your plot. So
yeah,
definitely give it a shot. I think it's going to be a really solid product.
Jakey sprayed it on his little green mile the other week when they were shooting some content, and it was pretty crazy how quickly those plants reacted. Granted, soil temps were rising. We had they damn near doubled in size in a week. It was crazy. But yeah, so a minimum of 5 gallons of water diluted to your Liquid Courage. If you're going to do an acre, I would say a minimum of 10 gallons. If you're going to do the 2 acres, I would probably do 20 gallons. So you're going to want to try to dilute it quite a bit in that regard, but don't think you have to use it all at once on those little half acre plots. Dissect that into quarters and throw your 5 gallon sprayer on your back and spray away. That's the beauty of it. 4 applications on a half acre plot for $49.99 or $59.99, whatever it is, wherever you buy it. So it's one of those products that's going to help you save money, help you grow better plots all at the same time. So we hope you find value in it. We're pretty excited about it. I don't know if I've been this excited about a mid-year launch as I ever have. So it's one of those things. David, I never say no harm to burn, because anytime you're using a fertilizer, there's always a chance to burn. With that said, what we recommend is spray in the early mornings when the temps are below 80 on plants that are not stressed. So I mean, if they're super stressed out, then I would wait. Is it not in stock online?
Working
on it, Dan. Might have sold out already, but we'll get you some more. Jakey's been working hard to get these filled for you.
We have our first order.
So, got our.
Greg from Monticello, Wisconsin.
Well, he already owns all of our hats. Perfect. Woohoo! So, with that said, so it's a 717.4. Sorry, Chris, you've been asking a couple times, and there's so many comments coming through here that I missed it the first couple times. So, and again, like we said, good for everything. Spray it on your beans, spray it on your corn, spray it on your comeback kid, your hot chick, your big sexy.
Brian from Whitetail Crossings, just make sure you only use Liquid Courage by my stand, not Mike's. You can use it by Jake's, you can use it by Jeff's, you can use it by Marcus's. Mike needs to feel it this year a little bit.
Oh yeah, so hey Dan, back in stock. Jake ran to the back room and got a few more cases for you, so hop on there. Don't forget, first order I think has already been taken, but they get a hat, so we'll reach out to you. Also, we're going to give away 2 cases. Whoa!
Easy.
2 jugs.
Easy there.
Yikes.
Holy
Take that back.
smokes.
2 jugs. We'll randomly pick the winners for those. And Brian is not going to get one because he's going to take your advice and only spray plots by you.
Done.
I guess we'll be whistling Dixie in the woods. We'll take care of that.
That better not happen again this year. I'll never go back. I'm just not going to do it.
So we're going to give away 2 jugs. All you have to do is comment what your beverage of choice is during beers and bucks. Gatorade and bucks, bourbon and bucks, call it what you want. Water and bucks, water buck, call it what you
Milk.
want. Milk and bucks, whatever, exactly. All you got to do is comment what it is you're drinking when you listen to us, God forbid, and we'll give away 2 jugs. Heck yeah.
Love it. So let's talk a little bit about planning.
Planning or planting?
Planning before planting.
Ooh.
The big thing we've been...
Hold on. What is Alchemist Focal Banger?
That's got to be some kind of a sweet tea. I'm assuming some kind of a sweet tea.
It sounds amazing. Huh. Anyways. Rabbit hole.
Bud Light Lime.
And Bucks. I like Bud Light Lime, honestly.
Well, yeah, you like fruit in your beer. You like lemon.
Well, yeah. Shouldn't you enjoy your beer?
I do.
Yours isn't in the can long enough to taste it.
Yeah,
mine is.
The mountains are blue. How do you even know if your beer is cold? It has no indicator.
I grab it and it's cold.
Yeah, we'll pick it up another time.
My fingers tell me.
So we focus on, really we talk about a couple of things a lot. And one of them is putting plots where you don't think you can put plots.
Deer Slayer Lager?
What the hell?
Is this real? I have to cut you off like 14 times. I'm sorry. They just... Whew. Angel's Envy. Now we're talking.
Bean Flicker?
Bean Flicker? What is this?
What are you guys drinking?
Write this stuff down. These are new products right here.
Cabin Fever.
Write these
New
down.
Glarus is good.
Bean Flicker. That one we could use. That one we could use. Would we get in trouble for that? Probably better not use Bean Flicker.
It's a family show.
Yeah, sorry. All right, fine.
That's what Dave Portnoy always says about his pizza reviews. Family.
Well, we got to talk about my mac and cheese reviews too today.
Yeah.
We cannot forget about that.
Maybe we just address it right now. So we went out to dinner on Sunday night, met up with Mike and Jen and their daughter Veda, and she always gets mac and cheese when we go to dinner, but a lot of times she doesn't end up eating it. She just wants to eat her little cracker things.
So who eats it?
Mike. So I didn't realize this until Sunday, but he has personally eaten mac and cheese at like 35 different restaurants. And he is like rating them.
I'm a connoisseur.
Like, so literally he can like tell you like his top 5 mac and cheese spots. And number 1's his home golf course, of course.
Danny's at Stone Ridge. The best mac and cheese in the history of the world. Why? Their cheese. It's something about their cheese.
I'm a Kraft mac and cheese guy.
That'll blow your mind.
I'll have to give it a shot.
Big noodles, like creamy, drippy cheese.
I didn't realize he was that into mac and cheese.
Who doesn't like mac and cheese?
I mean, I love it.
Jake and I at lunch break he eats
Easy Mac?
He eats Char's Easy Mac and I eat Veda's Easy Mac for lunch. So yeah, and SpaghettiOs. I mean, we're like third grade lunch here.
I gotta bring you guys some food.
I had a PB&J today along with SpaghettiOs.
Maybe try a salad.
Hey, it's one of those things.
All right, we're gonna get back on track.
Bean Flicker. Whew. Can't get over Bean Flickers.
So we talk a lot about.
Is that real?
Yeah, it is. In the woods plots where you wouldn't normally put them. I'm going to get an update on our in the woods plot. Did we ever post that video of
Sure did.
the in the woods plot?
No. just the food plot highway.
We should post that, and then I'll get an update.
We were hoping to get a better model in there.
Well, it was just me. I was there, you know.
Yeah.
Dad was on the camera. I could get Dad in there, you know.
The mule, he did all the work.
He'd probably crush it. No, I planted it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the woods food plots, food highways.
What did you plant in there?
So in the woods we put hot chick, and then in the area where it was going to get more sun, I put an OBS. Got it in probably 2.5 weeks before the leaves got on. So it had good initial germ. They grow down before they grow up, and now it's looking really solid. So I'm excited to see it this weekend. Sometimes they'll stunt out if it's completely shady. So we're going to look at it. We've identified a couple of trees we're going to take out that, you know, just allow just enough light to get in.
Just an excuse to rip on the Husqvarna a little bit.
Oh, just
who
let
doesn't
it
like
rip.
that, right?
But the other thing we talk about, and we're going to talk about tonight, is using a little bit larger of a food, and I'm not talking huge. We have a 2-acre hunt plot that is our go-to, and we've done a lot with it. We've got our 20-acre field now that we pulled out of ag that we're doing some really, really fun stuff with this year.
That's a labor of love there.
But man, it'll be a work in progress. We're learning how to be big-time farmers. A lot of rocks out there, but the lower field has proven really successful, and I think one of the reasons why it's been successful is how we've constructed the plots to get the deer to come to a social area in front of the blind.
I completely agree.
And you know, you do that by obstructing their view, so they can't just scent check from one side of the field and feel confident that there's not a doe in there. But also, we put a scrape tree out there. We've got good food plots in there. We got standing corn. We've done beans down there, and it just has become the ultimate kill stand on our property.
The green machine saved everybody's life last year.
Last year we had almost half of that field in beans, and we didn't get rain for weeks, and the beans just failed, and it turned into weeds. And we made the call in second or third week of August to go in and till in the beans, and then we didn't do anything. We just broadcast the green machine, but then we had rain, sun, rain, and I am convinced that changed that buck's pattern, because you had all that fresh growth, and he started coming down to that, and Dad killed him on open.
It was wild how many deer were in that thing. Odd side ales. Huh. How many deer were in that thing in October?
It was
after your dad killed, that next month was just foolish.
It was there was times where I hunted it where there was 30 deer out in that field.
Foolish, yeah.
So I think, you know, sometimes out by in front of my cabin, I've got a really quite small field. We try putting corn and beans in there, and by late August, early September, they're just ravaged. It just gets too much pressure. So we're converting that this year. I want to turn it into a clover plot.
So
I'm not going to plant clover this year. I'm going to plant sugar mama this fall, and that's going to come back next year as awesome clover, and then I'm going to frost seed it. That way, I always struggle with weeds there. So
that should be perfect.
You know, in the fall, I can get it tilled up. I can get sugar mama in, and then next spring, I won't have to unearth any new weed seeds. I can go in and I can just frost seed it. I'll probably do a mix of comeback and hot chick, get that established. But let's pull up the map. Let's see if we can see it.
Try not to poke anybody's eye out here. Ooh. Oh boy.
I don't know how we're going to do this.
Ooh-yah. That's going to cover your face, Tim. Here you go. Hey!
Let's see if we can kind of get a zoom in on this one, Riley.
Oh boy.
It's going to be right next to your noggin.
Last time when we touched the old, oh hey, that looks pretty good. Yeah. So that's the kill stand. The infamous kill stand, which is located over here.
Yeah, so maybe actually start here, Riley, and then we'll move over here. So there's a little bit of glare.
Tim, turn your... There you go.
There we go. All right, so...
This is a sweet map. Where'd you get the map first?
I bought it at the Wisconsin Deer and Turkey Expo. I can't remember the company.
Love it.
But
Northwoods mapping?
Yeah, I think it was Northwoods mapping.
Sweet.
Up in this top corner is where our secluded plot is. And then we've got our 20-acre ag field down here. And then
that's being converted.
Yeah, it's being converted. We have some wildflowers, like bird, pollinator, bee habitat coming in here. We're going to stock about 2,000 trees in. We put a shelter belt in 2 years ago and across the middle of it.
All of our test plots. And
then back here is all test plots. Over here is all rock and like
illicit
shale. We just put illicit in there. It comes in awesome. But we've got a cool little micro plot up here that we do a lot of cool stuff with. But down here is our lower plot, and I've expanded it on the map here. And one of the things I like about doing this on these maps is you can kind of visualize it. And I did winter shot here before, so I didn't have what we currently have, so we can have kind of a blank canvas. And last year we had the beans up on this side of it, and the beans failed, and that's where we put our green machine in. And our entry is over here. There's an old four-wheeler trail we can take down, and we planted incognito all the way along the edge here, and then we had standing corn in this whole section. And I can't tell you the amount of times I had 15 deer out in the field eating on green machine. I dipped down into the incognito out of our muddy and then hopped on. We have the electric bike, the Rambo, and biked out of there and didn't spook a single deer. So for me in this plot, it's all about getting in, but then also getting out. A lot of times getting in, I hunt this stand a lot in the afternoon. It's not really a problem. You can get in there. It's when it's time to leave and you've got a pile of deer in there and you don't want to booger them. You know, I've had times where I've had somebody come down and pick me up in the Ranger to booger the deer versus me walking out. But we're always trying to protect our entrance and exit, and then we're trying to figure out ways that we can get a 30-yard shot around the muddy. I don't personally like taking much further than a 30-35 yard shot at a whitetail. I would take a 40-yard shot if I had to, but I'm probably not likely to take a 50-yard shot. So
how are you going to plant this thing this year?
This year, what we're going to do,
and we'll link a video to the podcast too, so you can kind of see this, what Tim's doing, if you're listening.
Probably a little bit further over.
The strategy to manipulate deer movement's been just so awesome in this food plot.
Yeah.
Nothing like hunting I'll call it a destination food source.
So the X out in front of this stand right here is where we have a scrape tree, and we like to grab an oak that's got a lot of leaves. A lot of times we'll cut a big limb that's straight, and we'll dig it in. We'll refresh those. Sometimes we'll hang some vines over them and stuff like that. But the scrape tree is kind of the focal point. It's about a 25-yard shot in front of the muddy. A lot of times the deer are entering in this corner, or this middle of this corner, or right here is where the deer are really coming from. We've got really good bedding along here, and then we've got really good bedding in a big ridge top that they come off of, that they enter the field here. And that's about probably a 50-yard shot to get where they come out here. So I want them to come here. The scrape tree naturally is going to bring them there, but also, what about the deer that are coming during the rut and they're skirting? So we're taking what was green machine last year, and we're going to put corn in this year. And then what we're going to do kind of along this edge here is we're going to do corn as well. But we're going to leave strips of green from the entry point here, here, and here coming through the corn to get them into basically this central area here.
Which is going to be green machine?
It's going to be green machine, but we also...
This is comeback kid already, right? Hot chick?
Well, we did Sugar Mama up here last year.
Yep.
So what I did is I went in and I frost seeded it this year, and then we have just a beautiful clover plot. So I'm going to leave that. It'll probably be about 10 yards wide, and then I'll have 10 yards wide of green machine that's going to run all the way down here, and then all the way up here through all the runways. And then on this side, we're going to do corn for probably maybe 10 feet out from the blind. That's going to, again, help for conceal. All of this behind the blind is incognito. And then there's a strip of incognito that runs here so you can get in. Here, we're going to do the top half, we're going to do more corn here. and then we're going to do all green plots here.
Love
because the green plots there, you can shoot out the left window, and I want to make it so the corn's maybe 40, 45 yards out.
So once they're in the green, they're in the go zone.
Once they're in the green, you can kill them. Yep, and then they'll come in here as well. So I know it's kind of messy, but
Timmy,
for what?
Why did you choose Green Machine over No BS?
I love No BS.
I know you do.
I wanted Green Machine down there because we do hunt this plot later into the year. No BS does good later into the year too, but Green Machine, like the entire intention behind that mix is that it's going to stay green late into the winter. A lot of times in Wisconsin at gun season, we've got snow. I want them digging down at that green. So we gave it a go on a big chunk of it last year.
It's a great question, Jake, too, because everybody knows that No BS is Timmy's little favorite.
Yeah.
So I like you thinking outside the box.
For sure. But yeah, again, for us, in this little plot, we'll probably have a total of, I would bet 3/4 of an acre, maybe a little bit more of, probably be, 3/4 of an acre will probably be green plots between clover and then our fall plots, and then the rest is going to be corn. And they'll hit the corn for sure.
I mean, the field's actually, it's a stretch to be 2 acres.
Yeah.
It feels bigger.
Yeah, it sure does.
The first time we stepped in, we thought it was like 6, 8 acres. Now it's 2.
But the problem is they like to hang out in this bottom corner, and I want them to come here. Our blind's literally it's in the middle of the field, and they don't seem to mind it. But I also don't like them hanging out underneath the stand. That's why I like planting all the incognito around the stand, because they're not going to sit there and eat it. We had corn right up to the blind in the front last year, and I was sitting out there during gun season, and there's 5 does going systematically and just picking off the corn cobs, and then they'd feed out. But you don't want a buck getting within 10 feet of an elevated blind. You're not going to get a shot. So we try and, again, can obstruct their vision, give them a nice path to come in to get to the kill spot.
Multiple paths,
we've got the scrape tree. Almost every buck that ends up coming in hits the scrape tree at some point, and it's a 25-yard shot. So
love it. 1 jug of liquid courage covers that whole field.
2 acres.
Boom.
1 jug.
Piece of cake.
Or you could do half the field twice.
Timmy, that's really good math.
You like that? Sometimes people forget how good at math I actually am.
You're like a mathematician.
So let us know. We're going down. It's always so tough when you start from scratch in the spring and you look at it and you're like,
some questions, Timmy.
What are we gonna do? So
first, I'll answer Greg's. You answer Rob's. Rob says, "Is incognito planted on all sides of the blind or just the back side?" Wrong side.
I planted it all across the back and then along about 10 feet wide where I walk in. And then this year, what I'm going to do,
front of it.
I am going to put some in the front this year. Maybe
what if it grows 15 feet tall? You're just going to chop it?
I'll just nip the tops. We like to do it about 10 feet wide.
You spray that on, it'll be like 30 feet tall.
Dang right. Never know. Might grow legs and walk away. We didn't test it that much. But, I didn't like how I had corn planted up close. Concealment wise, I wanted to, be able to get in and out. They end up just hammering the corn, literally all these deer are right underneath the blind. So I like using incognito multi-purpose in that lower field. Number 1 purpose, getting in and out of the stand. Number 2, keeping deer out of the area where I don't want them, because I have blackouts on some of the windows. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to open them. I'm not going to look back there. Put incognito back there and you won't have to worry about a giant 10-pointer lingering.
It's amazing how quickly, obviously we talked about on your 2-acre field, but it's amazing how quickly it changes how deer act. Behind my house right now, I planted some, but it's not growing yet. They're finicky even in kind of daylight. Once it grows, all fall those deer out there during daylight. They react immediately to that safety, that concealment. So it can be used in a variety of ways. Getting to your tree stand is just one of them.
Yep.
Blocking a road, blocking a neighbor, manipulating deer movement.
Yep.
Great way to use it. Break up that half-acre big sexy plot and kind of force deer to come where you want. Or if you know where they come, but they're always just out of range, change that. Bring them in closer, manipulate it. So, and then I'm going to answer Greg's question here. He was asking about incognito. What's it supposed to look like as far as plant-wise? As it's growing in its infancy, it almost looks like a little stalk of corn.
Yeah.
As it grows, I mean, it's got big, long leaves, almost like a corn stalk would. Similar family. The grain sorghums, the sorghum sedan grasses, the Egyptian wheats are all going to look similar to that. Planted last week of April, 4 inches tall, somewhat spotty. It'll fill in once we get soil temps. Incognito likes warm soil, warm weather, moisture, rain, and liquid courage. That's what it likes. That's its diet. So,
but what you'll find with it is those plants that grow up and tall spend a lot of time growing down
they
first.
also grow out.
So a lot of the root development happens really in that first month, I would say.
Once they develop roots, they explode because they can absorb nutrients.
And then when it's starting to hit that growth and all of a sudden you get it to 3-4 feet and it's starting to go, that's a perfect time to hit it with fertilizer again, because then you're going to give it that next boost to really shoot up.
It needs nutrients.
But it's what, 120 days?
110, 120
to full
maturity.
So I mean, full maturity. So don't rush the process there.
You can plant it late July and still get everything you want out of it.
Yep.
So don't think you have to plant it way too early.
I'm holding off mainly because of
Dikembe
time.
Mutombo.
But we'll probably get a lot of our incognito in at end of June, just due to my schedule. But I think that'll work out just fine. But
absolutely,
anytime you're looking at planting that time of year too, because it can get really hot, I'm going to get it prepped and ready, and we're going to just wait until we have some good rain, and then we're going to get it planted. Same thing with our fall plots this year. We tried to do them earlier last year. We planted a lot of our plots in July, and we ended up hitting a drought, and then we fought weeds in a lot of our plots this year. We mistimed the weather, so this year I'm really going to look for that consistent, like not a 1 day rain in the forecast, like, yep, we got 4 days consistent, it's going to rain, and I'm going to get the fall plots in. End of July, early August, rain will make or break your plots. So
Mother Nature has the final say. I tell you what, I love all these questions about incognito, because that mix, we call it a food plot, but all the rest are food. That one's not. But it's one of the ones that gets me the most excited, just because of how quickly it can change your hunting, your property. It's one of those that just is so impactful on your property that once you plant it, you're going to plant it in a variety of ways the next season and continue to use it to create better opportunities. So that's fun to talk about that one.
We work a lot with homegrown outfitters, and they're like the kings of that. Obviously, they've got bigger budgets, and they're putting in water holes. But I mean, the things that they do for their hunters is all manipulation of how the deer travel to a general social area that gets them in front of the stand within 35 yards.
Yeah.
I don't want to take 40, 50-yard shots at a whitetail. I just don't want to do it. So how do you structure your plots in a way that obstructs view, that gets them into that area? I love using scrape trees in our plots. They're very, very proven for us. They almost always come in and hit it.
They typically will offer you a better shot opportunity when they're at something like that. Which I'm the type of guy that I'll take all the advantages I can get to be more successful and more lethal and all those things. So,
and I got the new bow this year, so I'm
have you shot it yet?
I haven't got it set up yet. I haven't made it in there, but they did send me this nice new hat.
Now that you're getting married, you might as well just sell it. After you get married, you can't hunt anymore.
What?
Yeah, that's a little known fact.
Jeepers, I didn't read that in the fine print.
There's a lot of fine print to me.
Mel's probably watching, and you probably upset her right now.
I love Mel, though.
She came
She's very nice.
We both had COVID during gun season last year, and she came and sat in the blind with me, and it was like one of the best nights because there was like 40 deer that came down. It was just like, oh, there's one. But
of course, had COVID the last 2 deer seasons.
No, just one.
close contact the next one.
Yeah.
You've ruined hunting camp the last 2 years.
Sorry.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Not great.
Sheesh.
But I'm ready to go this year. I love my new hat. I'm feeling fast.
The Matthews archery hat?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not going to be my killing hat.
Did that come with your bow?
Yeah.
What a deal.
Yeah.
I like it. I see Jeff Nelson finally got on the Matthews train.
Yeah.
Took him long
time.
enough. What a puss.
Yeah. Shooting a Hoyt. I mean, I'm all for what you want to shoot, but you should shoot a Matthews.
It's just more fun to give him crap. I think everybody in our camp is shooting Matthews this year.
I mean, I would shoot a Hoyt. I just can't afford them.
I can't either. Can't afford to miss. I shouldn't say that. I'll shoot anything. I just got too many friends at Matthews, Gotta help them out. Love it. Yeah, the bow came with the hat, correct, Ryan? Yeah, bought the hat, got the bow for free.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
Those Richardsons have gotten expensive.
Our buddy Chris at HHA.
Oh, yeah?
I got a nice sight. I'm ready to rock.
You're getting dialed in.
Yep.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Brian's going to spray the liquid courage on your plot. You got a new hat that came with a bow. You got a new sight.
Yeah.
Psst, what else do you need?
Probably that Garmin sight.
So
I have a tough time using it.
What happens if the battery dies? Like right as you pull back on that freaking booner.
You got to do what our ancestors did. You just got to go instinctual on that thing and let her fly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fred Bear just, he didn't have fancy sights. He just let freedom ring and he sent it.
You're no Fred Bear, my friend.
I know. I did watch a lot of Spirit of the Wild back in the day, though.
We should call Ted. When this podcast starts, I want the Fred Bear song playing in the background. I don't care what it costs.
I actually, Mel, when we were putting together the wedding playlist, she said, well, you haven't really contributed many songs. And I was like, it's Fred Bear.
Yeah.
She's like, it's 7 minutes long.
It's the greatest song ever.
We will play it start to finish.
It doesn't have to be the first dance.
No. I mean, but maybe the third or fourth song. And she's like, the dance floor is going to clear out. I was like, you watch. Yeah. You understand the hillbillies that are coming to this wedding?
Do you have enough beer?
Oh, yeah.
8 kegs at our wedding.
Yeah,
from all your hillbilly cousins.
The venue has a bunch of them, and they gave me the guarantee we're not going to run out.
The old guarantee. You got Jake coming. I've seen him in action. You should have saw him at turkey camp.
Did he put him down?
He went down.
I love that.
Jake got him pretty jacked up at turkey camp.
You finally killed your first turkey.
Killed my first turkey. No thanks to Jake, who was sleeping in the blind. Trying to figure out if it was the barbecue or the beer that made him feel a little woozy. He was drinking CL smoothies like the mountains were never going to not be blue, or I don't even know. They were just going down the hatch. He was the guy that's like, final.
That's typically me.
Yeah, he took your place. Although you can handle it better. He's kind of a wuss.
Yeah.
Although he did call the bird in after he dialed Ralph.
Well, and that hunt was filmed, so that should be...
we had so much fun.
That should be up and going soon. We've got...
Andrew's the master behind the camera. That man, he can even make me look good.
I'm pumped up. We've got our camera now, so I do want to invest and start filming hunts because it...
that camera right there you're looking into, bruh.
It's just so... cool, that
would involve you hunting and shooting deer.
Yeah, what's going to happen this year?
When was the last time you shot a deer again?
2018.
Okay. I hope you kill a booner this year, buddy.
I think I need to go home.
I think you need to just go in with the Fred Bear attitude, like you're whatever you call it, all tribal and shit. Or
true story. I was on a elk hunt, and it was Dad and I's bucket list hunt. We'd been, ever since I was a kid, when we watched hunting shows, we'd see the guys that went in and did the elk camp where they were staying in the wall tent. They went in horseback, and we talked about it for years and finally booked it. And we get it up in there, and we're sleeping at 9,000 feet. It was beautiful. And we saw elk the first 2 days, and then we went 3 days without seeing an elk. And it was our last day to hunt, and our guide was sick, and he was down in the tent, and he's
Drank the nasty water.
How about you guys? Well, the day before, true story, we ran out of water, and there was a spring coming out of the side of the mountain, and he jammed a stick in it to make like a little spout, and I look down, there's moose shit everywhere.
Oh, you're lucky you didn't die.
He just swipes it out of the way. He's like, I think we're probably good.
How'd that work out?
Filled up my water bottle.
Yeah.
I goosed that down. But
You
I
whatted it?
I just
You
hammered
goosed it down?
Oh yeah, sent it. I watched Top Gun, the new Top Gun last night.
Was it good?
It was phenomenal.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really
I watched
good
the
movie.
old one the other day just
Dude,
because.
you got to go to it, and you got to go to it in the theaters.
That's what I hear.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he's sick in the tent. Dad and I climb up, and we were overlooking the valley, and we spot this like early on in a hunt. You're like, I'm not going to shoot anything small. Like I want to get a nice elk.
Been there.
And then
After day 2, that
you know,
changes.
your standards start to change. It's kind of like, you know, when you have a lot of liquid courage at the bar, and it's like the standards just start.
When you walk in, you're looking for a 10. When you go home with a 2.
Yeah. There's actually a really funny video on that. But anyways, I spot from like 300 yards away this raghorn, and I'm like, I went into beast mode. Like if I had face paint,
Did you go Fred Bear on it?
And I ran back down to the tent, and I put Fred Bear on, and he's like in his sleeping bag, just rocking. And I turned it off, and he's like, put it back on. And 5 minutes later, we were dressed up, went up, the raghorn was gone. But that night, I ended up killing my bull.
You killed a better bull. Yeah.
So it that song works magic.
Maybe we need to listen to more of that this fall.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Done. Consider it done. I love that. I love the song. Love the story. Love that you're getting married.
Getting married.
That's
Next
fun.
time y'all see me, I'll be a married man.
Timmy outkicked his coverage. I've always thought that's interesting. Like when you outkick your coverage, don't you kind of feel bad for Mel? Because
Do you feel bad for Jen?
No, not at all. But do you think she goes to her friends and says like, "Well, I guess I settled for Tim," because you can't both outkick your coverage.
What do you think, Jen? Again, why is this all on me?
Because you're getting married. I'm already married.
Fair.
So the focus is on you, Tim. This is your week.
It's my week.
Because after this, you don't matter anymore. But
Trying to
anyways,
give me cold feet. That's what's going on.
No, not at all. We can't both outkick our coverage.
Well, I did.
I know, but
So did you.
But that means they didn't. So are they talking to their friends like, boy, I could have done better, but you know what? He's nice.
I guess I never really thought about it through that lens.
Right?
I kind of feel like shit now.
I know.
Like they're settling.
Right? Somebody has to settle.
Dang it.
If you and I didn't, then, well, I mean, it's interesting. I would be curious to know what others think. This might be an opportunity for some feedback here.
Well, we'll have a nice wedding picture with the 4 of us, and they can make the determination.
Fair.
Everyone's
All right.
going to agree with us.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. We got Jake's anniversary was yesterday. Congrats to Jake and Jordan. They've got 3 little minions. Holy Hannah. And they're still married. They've done it. Jake outkicked his coverage. Jordan's telling all her friends she's settled.
Yeah. Man alive.
Beats the alternative, I guess, right?
Well, this
Ryan Nordahl, 6 years.
Congrats, man.
Sheesh.
This Saturday.
Everybody got married in June.
It's a good time.
When did you get married?
Same year as Ryan, but I got married in October.
See,
October.
That's like
Yeah,
what were we saying earlier? Prior planning prevents not being able to hunt in October.
Jake had twins in October. He hunted.
It's well, yeah.
We're driving to Kentucky. No lie. Driving to Kentucky on our big hunt. And as we're driving, I looked at Jake and I said, Jake, you're the only human in this car, for sure, let alone this county or this state, that would be in this car if we would have just had twins a week ago. And at that point, we for sure knew that he outkicked his coverage.
Yeah.
Jordan was at home with a 1-year-old and twins, and Jake was going down to Kentucky.
Shooting big
She's
deer.
a saint. She's a saint. We're all lucky. That's what we're trying to say, Tim. I don't know where I was going with that. Now, 11 years in June. Look at all these guys.
8 years.
11 years, 11 years.
I mean, what's
8 years.
What's the big?
Timmy,
I need some advice here.
yeah, we're looking for advice here,
I'm
guys.
jumping in
We
with
have
both feet,
we have
but-
100 years of experience. So we had 136 years of research to come out with this product. We got 136 years of experience to help you survive marriage.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Come on,
be
Jake,
that
Rob, Ryan, Jason.
Mel's a saint.
One piece of advice for Timmy as he gets married here. 0 years, no regrets. All right. You kill me, Anthony. But I think we end this topic now that we've launched Liquid Courage. We couldn't be more excited, honestly. It's one of those products that is going to help you no matter what you plant, where you plant it, how you plant it.
Yep.
If you're an apple farmer or you're a deer hunter, it's going to help. We're going to continue to kind of release tidbits, facts, help answer questions. That's what we're here for.
What about this?
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
Let's say you're a guy you're putting in food plots and you got a garden at home.
Ooh.
And
Send it.
let's say that, as an example, you've got 1 3/4 acres of food plot.
1
and you've got
3/4?
a quarter acre garden.
Oh,
back
there you
home.
go. There you go.
Tell your wife you got her some fertilizer for plants. It's going to spit out tons more green beans.
Timmy.
That's going to benefit you at the dinner table. It's going to make her happy because she's going to have the green thumb, and it's going to be a win-win. How about that for marriage advice?
I hear you. I love it.
That's what I'm saying.
I love it.
I don't say much, but when I say it, I mean it.
Amen. You don't say much.
I'd say a lot.
All I hear is freaking chirp, 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 chirp. Whew.
Oh,
Yikes.
Lord. Well, thanks everybody for attending. If you're listening to this not live and on the podcast, it's on YouTube. You'll be able to see the video to see kind of our elaborate plot breakdown.
Yeah,
but
the plot plan.
We're going to do a lot more video like we do every year down there once we get it started. And we're going to do a lot more in our big field because the 20-acre field is going to take, it's probably realistically going to be a 10-year transformation.
Oh, yeah. It's so much
You got to
work.
get those trees up.
Takes time for cedars and switch and all that to grow.
It's going to be a game changer. And like for me, the property is all about establishing a legacy for long term. Like my kids can enjoy it, and but there's definitely short term things you can do to improve hunting as you're establishing your long term plans as well. So.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. No, this was fun. Episode 3.
The camera didn't break.
Riley did a hell of a job getting us back on track. Got Liquid Courage launched. It's headed out to dealers near you.
Mic thingies.
This week. Got some cool custom mics.
Dude, we look really cool with these mics.
We are, yeah.
Like look good, feel good.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
And you look great, Timmy. So you must feel even better.
Yeah. I'm growing out the mustache for the wedding.
With all this advice, you're going to be set next. You're going to come running down the aisle next Saturday.
Rob, the issue with splurging on the anniversary is this is normally the weekend where I go to Lake Mille Lacs and catch walleyes. Ooh. Last year, when we get married, a year ago, the day we're going to get married, Jake and I were up on Mille Lacs just shellacking smallmouth.
No, you were just catching CL smoothies.
I did have quite
From what I heard.
Yeah, I had quite a few.
You got schnicked, as you say.
Yeah, but we caught some fish. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us for episode 3. And we're excited. Episode 4 will
launch
probably come
Liquid Courage.
sometime late June, probably. We'll do another episode.
Yeah, I suppose we'll get you married and off on your honeymoon and off gallivanting.
I'm going to come back with like shell necklaces.
A puka necklace?
Sick tan. Probably be ripped up.
Well, that won't happen.
I'm going to hit the gym at least twice.
You will be married and tan. The rest of it, we'll see. Don't get your schnoz all burned either.
I try not
Watch
to.
the schnoz.
Sucker sticks out.
But anywho.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all. We'll see you soon.
Ya.